Good afternoon, children.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
We were discussing about viruses in the previous class. Now, a few more organisms we need to discuss before completing this chapter. Only though a few are remaining: viroids, lichens, and prions. And these are held or these are dealt with separately because they cannot be included under any of the 5 kingdoms. So, we'll be continuing with viroids. So, viruses we have already completed. Moving on to viroids. Viroid is an infectious agent with free low molecular weight RNA and no protein code. So when compared to viruses, they have got a low molecular weight and there is no protein code. So when we discussed about viruses, we learned that they are having a protein code. It's a nucleoprotein with a protein covering. The capsid is present, which consists of units known as subunits known as capsomeres. Together they form a protein coat. But here that protein coat is missing, and that is a free low molecular weight RNA. It's of low molecular weight, and this is having RNA as a genetic material. And when compared to viruses, these are smaller in size. And these structures were discovered by Theo Diener in 1971. And it is also pathogenic. It can cause diseases. One such disease caused by viroid is potato spindle tuber disease. It is because of the shape. So you can see the picture of viroid here and Theo Diener and the potato spindle tuber. You can see it. The potato will appear to be of spindle shape. Once it is affected, the shape changes. The normal shape changes and it appears spindle shape, means tapering at both ends. It gets elongated and pointed at both ends. Once again, it's an infectious agent. Viroid is an infectious agent. It can cause diseases in organisms. One such disease is potato spindle tuber disease. As the name suggests, the normal shape of the potato changes to a spindle shape. It is discovered by Theo Diener in 1971. And here the differences, if you compare viruses and viroids, you can find that viroids are smaller in size and no protein code, and they are of low molecular weight. Genetic material is RNA. Whereas in the case of viruses, we learned that the genetic material can be RNA or DNA. It can be double-stranded or single-stranded. But here it is made up of or it consists of free molecular weight RNA. Protein code is missing. They are smaller than viruses. Next, we are moving on to the next category is lichens. From lower classes, you had been learning about lichens. And lichen is a symbiotic association between algae and fungi. It is a symbiotic association. Symbiosis means a mutual association where two organisms live together and they share their shelter and nutrients. Different types of interactions or associations are there between organisms. In some cases, one will be benefited, the other will be harmed. For example, in the case of parasite-host relationship, that is also a relationship where one is affected and one is benefited. But here, this is a type of association between two living organisms where none of them are harmed, both of them are benefited. It's an example for a symbiotic association between algae and fungi, mutually useful. Both of them are benefited. The algal component is called phycobion. It's autotrophic. Alga, green in color, it can carry out photosynthesis, autotrophic. Whereas a fungal component is mycobiome. What you see here, all these are pictures of lichen. You might have seen them on tree trunks and all. We cannot easily make out that it is a symbiotic association between two organisms. So what all the pictures, what you're seeing, all those are different types of lichens. It has got an algal component and also a fungal component. Alga, you call it as algal component, you call it as phycobion, and the fungal component you call as mycobion. In terms of nutrition, phycobion is autotrophic because it's the algal partner. So algal partner will be having chlorophyll in them. They can carry out photosynthesis, whereas fungi or the fungal component is mycobion, and the mode of nutrition is heterotrophic. And there are chances that you get confused between phycobion and mycobion. If you want, you can remember it like the FM radio in Andhra Pradesh is very good, or something like that you can remember. Or it is not necessary that you have to follow what I said. The mnemonic, what I said, you need to remember. You can make your own mnemonic. Andhra Pradesh, or simply Andhra Pradesh FM. F stands for fungal partner or fungal component, and M for mycobiome. A stands for algae, and it is phycobion. Okay, anyhow, you can remember Andhra Pradesh FM, or you can make your own tricks, no problem. But you should remember and you should not make mistakes. Only that is the condition. Now let's see how both of them are benefited. Algae being autotrophic, having chlorophyll in them, they can prepare their own food. And whatever food they are preparing, they don't retain within them. They give a share to the fungi, and in turn, fungi will provide them shelter, and they will absorb water as well as nutrients and provide it to algae so that they can prepare food. So both of them, they are taking active part, like both of them. It is not that one is completely dependent on the other and affecting them, taking away all the nutrients and not giving anything in return. It's not like that. Both of them are equally participating in this association. It is a give and take. It's like a give and take. And here algae are preparing food, whereas fungi will provide shelter, and minerals and water are also absorbed by fungi, and they will provide it to algae. They are considered as they're very good pollution indicators. If lichens are found growing in a particular area, or the tree trunks are covered with lichens, that indicate that it's a pollution free zone. Whereas if they are lacking, or if their color has changed and the number is getting declined, or they are completely absent, you can understand it's a highly polluted area. So they are considered to be pollution indicators. So if they are growing in abundance, you can assess that is a pollution free zone. They do not grow in polluted areas. So that was about lichens. I'll repeat the points once again. Lichens are symbiotic association between algae and fungi. The algal partner, you call it as phycobion, whereas the fungal component is mycobion. They differ in their mode of nutrition. Algae are autotrophic. They can synthesize their own food by means of photosynthesis, whereas fungi, they are heterotrophic. They cannot prepare food on their own. Algae will prepare food by means of photosynthesis and provide it to fungi. Instead, fungi will provide shelter and absorb mineral nutrients and also water for its partner, that is algae. Lichens are very good, considered to be very good pollution indicators. The reason is you can find them only in less polluted areas, or where there is no pollution. If it is a highly polluted area, you cannot find lichens. So from its abundance, so if they are in plenty, from that you can assess that it is a pollution free zone or pollution free area, as they don't grow in polluted areas. Now coming to the last part, prions. This is also a new addition in the older textbook. This was not there. I think since 2 years, I think they have included this particular topic. Prions are agents consisting of abnormally folded proteins. They are actually some infectious agents, and they are abnormally folded proteins. You can see two, normal prion and abnormal prion. So in the first case, you can see a normal structure, whereas in the second case, you can see an abnormally folded structure. So they are agents consisting of, so the infectious prion is what you see on the right hand side. They have abnormally folded protein and they can cause different infectious, mainly they affect the nervous system, neurological diseases. They are the reason, or they cause different infectious, and that too infectious neurological diseases. And if you consider the size, you can see that they are resembling viruses in terms of their size, similar in size to viruses. Once again, prions are infectious agents. They are having, the most important feature of them is that they have an abnormally folded proteinaceous agent. You cannot categorize as any particular organism, and they can cause severe neurological diseases. And in terms of size, they are similar to viruses. Once again, we'll see the points that we discussed the spirit, starting from lichens, the asymbiotic associations between algae and fungi, and algal partner, Eucalyptus, phycobion, and the fungal partner is known as mycobion. And in the modes of nutrition also, they differ, that algae is capable of carrying out autotrophic nutrition, whereas heterotrophic nutrition is found in the fungal partner, and it is a symbiotic association. Both of them benefit each other, and the role of alga is to prepare food and supply to, or give a share to, the fungi, whereas the fungi will provide shelter and also will absorb water and nutrients to the algal partner. They are considered to be pollution indicators. The reason is you cannot find them in highly polluted areas where pollution is more, lichens cannot grow there. So they are considered to be pollution indicators. And then we learned about prions. Prions are agents having abnormally folded proteins, and they are infectious agents. They can cause severe or fatal neurological diseases, and they are similar in size to viruses, and the disease which it causes in cattle is known as mad cow disease. It is known as mad cow because it is affecting the brain cells. It's affecting the nervous system. We even call it as bovine spongiform encephalopathy. And once this disease appears in human beings, we call it as Creutzfeldt-Jacobs disease. And the symptoms include dementia, and just like in the case of Alzheimer's disease, we can also see similar symptoms here. And dementia is there, as I told you, the brain cells will start to shrink, and it will get damaged gradually, and it can even lead to the death of the person. Okay, so with that, we have completed one more chapter. Second chapter is completed, and next is about plant kingdom. That is the third chapter, and I told you I'll be showing some concept map so that you will get an idea how to prepare it. Okay, so that if you're following the maps or concept maps given in the sites, then you will have to buy hard things. But if you're preparing on your own with the idea, I think you all know how to prepare. So if you get an idea, you can prepare your own than just by hearting or following whatever is there in different sites. If you can prepare your own using all those guidelines in that, it is easy. That is what I feel. And if you want to collect from the sites and use it, no problem. But I'll show you a sample. So after every chapter, if you can prepare, not only at the based on one whole chapter, maybe it can be confusing. So you feel that based on each topic I have to prepare, you can do that. So with seeing that, you won't be able to write all the points. You won't be able to list out all the points. If you're thorough with the topic, seeing this, it's like a last minute revision and all. It will be of great use, and you will not forget, because it is like a flow chart. You can visualize it in your Memory retention will be much better. So I don't know how many of you are interested in doing, but I thought I'll show you. Okay. You're interested to see now? Don't open your mouth. Conserve
Yes, ma'am.
it. Can you see, children? Can you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
This is based on chapter 2, biological classification. See how they have marked it. I'll reduce the size. Is it visible? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So small nodes here and there, starting from the center. So many radiating arrows or lines they have drawn, some markings or somehow it is not that you have no hard and fast rule according to your convenience. So that is what I said. As such, when you look, you won't understand anything because it is prepared by someone else. But if you're preparing on your own, so the different kingdoms you can see. The name of the sign is 2 kingdom classification, then 5 kingdom classification, and the different kingdoms also they have mentioned under Protista. And here I don't know whether from where I will take the pen and mark. With this, I won't be able to do, no? Will I be able to? Will you be able to see? Can you see what I have marked?
No.
Yes.
Yes or no? Some brown color.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Oh my God, so much energy. Okay, children. So here you can see classification. Me take some other color. I don't know whether it is available here. Okay. So here, children, biological classification, the center it is given, and see Protista's classification is given. Okay. Examples, with examples they have given. Then kingdom Munira, how it is classified. So all those details are there. Then kingdom fungi and the 4 classes are given. And here lichen separately, phycobion, mycobion, it is a symbiotic association. It will help in improving your memory skills, children. You try. It's not that easy to prepare to at the end of or on the completion of the syllabus. You don't wait till then. You can prepare based on each topic, subtopic you can prepare. But I just thought of showing, and I think there are more. Just a minute. Here also all the different reactions, sorry, all the different properties of living things. Then about taxonomy, binomial nomenclature, different taxonomical aids. Taxonomical aids are, it comes under deleted topics, so we haven't dealt with that. So all these in a nutshell, you will get an idea what all topics are there, what are the main key points in the textbook. And with all these, children, it's available in different sites or prepared by different people you will get. But if you can prepare on your own, that will be easy for you to recollect. Otherwise, memorizing all these will be a tedious task for you than learning what is there in the textbook. That should not happen. This is meant for simplifying your work. It is not compulsory that you should prepare. So I was just guiding you how to memorize all these, because so many classifications you're going to learn in plant kingdom, in animal kingdom, more and more when it comes, you will find it difficult to memorize. But if you have the method of preparing such concept maps, it will be simplified. You can easily memorize. Okay. Either you depend upon what concept maps are given in the different Google sites, or you prepare. I'll prefer that you prepare on your own. So it will be easy for you. You have prepared your own. It is not for anyone else, just for you, just for your reference. Agreed? I just wanted to show it's up to you whether you would like to use it or not. So with that, we have completed the chapter and the topics what we discussed now. If somebody can summarize, we'll proceed to the next chapter. Okay. Meryl, we started with lichens.
Yes, ma'am. Lichens are the symbiotic association between the algae and fungi.
Okay, then. Jyoti, what is next? Why some of your videos are of Abhinav, Agna, Anila, Buddha, Samia, Zahan. Yes.
Ma'am, I have connectivity issue.
Okay, Abdullah, who was about to say the answer? Jyoti?
Algal component is known as phycobiont and fungal component is known as mycobiont.
Okay, then Emmeline, how do they benefit each other?
Algae prepare food and fungal compounds share the shelter and
Only shelter? What else they provide?
minerals, nutrients, water.
Water. Nutrients, minerals and water also will be absorbed by the fungi to provide to the algal partner. Then about prions, what did we learn, Lakshmi?
They consist of abnormally faulted protein.
Yes, Rose, what is next? Your
Uh,
audio is working, Rose? That's enough, Lakshmi. Rose, audio is not working? Buddha?
They are similar in size to viruses.
I did not understand. Others, you people understood what he said? Say once again.
They are similar in size to viruses.
Yes, they are similar in size to viruses. Shabiri, another point.
They cause infectious neurological diseases.
They cause infectious neurological diseases. And Zahan, I am here. Where are you? Some side business is going on. You have to be focusing here, no?
I was reading text.
But I feel that you are doing some other work over there.
No, ma'am.
Then you have to turn the side and speak. In between you are looking there. What is there on the side?
Text, ma'am. Text.
Oh, text you can keep in front. Otherwise, I will misunderstand that you are talking to someone or some other work is going on. Yes. Now you tell.
Which is pirates.
No.
Pirates.
No. That is what you were not here. Okay, continue. Yes. Now you have to find out now from where.
No, prion.
Name the disease it causes. Which disease?
Mad cow disease.
Yes, mad cow. Easy to remember. No? Tell me the other name, scientific name.
C.R. Jacob disease.
Yes.
C.R. Jacob disease.
That is found in human beings. In mad cow disease, what is the other name?
Spongiform encephalopathy. Spongiform encephalopathy.
You're so happy, Zahan. Share with us. We will also smile.
Spongiform
Is that your room, Zahan? You answer my question. Is that your room?
No, I'm outside.
Outside. Is there somebody near to you? No. You are all alone. Once again, the name of the disease without looking. You read the name once. Now without looking. Starting with B.
B. Oh, bovine spongiform encephalopathy.
Bovine spongiform encephalopathy. And it is known as Creutzfeldt-Jacobs disease. When it is found in human beings, it is affecting your brain cells, and the brain cells can get damaged. It can lead to memory loss, and it can even result in the death of the person gradually. Okay, any doubts? When do you want the test paper? Now the smiles will disappear. You're smiling still. Tell me, when do you want? I'm leaving it to you. You can tell me the day. Don't tell next year. In the coming week, one day you can fix, or next week? Next week, Friday? Will that be fine? Friday means you're getting 1 week. Okay. You people will shake your head, and on Friday, I will forget and you will not remind me. I'll keep alarm. At 3:40, I'll keep alarm. Shall I do that? Because that much I trust you people. So I have to keep alarm. So come prepared. These chapter-wise test papers are meant for you to revise. If no test papers are there, frankly tell me, will you open your textbook? If test papers are there also, I know no magic is going to happen, but still you will at least turn the pages. Am I right? I was like that when I was a student. So even though you people are new generation children, the basic nature will not change. That is what I feel. Some characteristics of the students, even after another 10, 15 years also, it will not change. If the teacher is not remembering, we will not remind her. We also used to do, and we used to get shoutings from teacher earlier. We very clearly remember, and we'll be struggling to learn turning pages. But as soon as she comes, we will tell the brighter ones also to keep the books. And because normally we don't keep it open and read it when teacher enters the classroom. We might be talking. So as soon as teacher comes, we will tell them nobody should keep the books open on the table. From that, she will get an idea that something is there. So I have asked for a test paper. That is why all are busy learning. Here I can't do that also. No, I can't make out what is there in front of your table also. So please do remind me. Don't make me keep alarm and all. Agreed. Learn thoroughly. You have 1 week. Need not learn everything a single day. You divide the chapter into small parts. One kingdom you can learn. 5 days are there. Agreed. Apart from these 5 kingdoms also, you have a little more to learn. That somehow you manage. Okay, shall we start? What is the time? 4:30.
Yes, ma'am. 4:30.
And I'm not going to start the new chapter. I'll take the attendance and I'll wind up. Thank you, children.